Well, look, the SADC countries signed a protocol, way back in 1996, and the essence, of the protocol was that, the countries in the SADC region has got different histories and they've got different education and training systems. So the key question was, how does one begin to harmonize the education and training systems, in the region, to allow for learners to move, across the SADC countries, and also how do we allow, workers, to move and so on. So, given the in alignment, as it were, and the fact that there are all these different systems, one of the ways that we are trying to look at this now is to set up a regional qualifications framework that consists of 10 levels, and the idea is that each of the 15 countries, if they take their qualifications framework or their qualification system, and you benchmark that, or you reference that against the SADC qualifications framework, you will then see where precisely does your qualifications, how does it compare to that. And so, if, for example, people would like to move from South Africa to Namibia, and luckily, in this case, South Africa's got a 10-level framework. The SADC qualifications framework is a 10-level framework, and then Namibia's got a framework as well. So you can then see where precisely is it that these different educational systems, meet. And so it's a kind of measure. It's a reference tool that we are setting up.
Mr. Samuels, you mentioned that this qualifications framework consists of 10 levels. Can you explain to us how this will work?
Yeah, look, I think, when we speak about 10 levels, it means that that level 1 is the kind of, if one talks about complexity, it is less complex, and number 10 is highly complex. So in other words, broadly speaking, if one takes education systems, you would say that level 1 is largely in the region of about grade 12, is at grade 9 if one looks at the schooling system. And the 10th level is like a PhD, that you can obtain at university. So from grade 9 to a PhD, so that those levels are the levels of complexity, as one goes up.
Right. Mr. Samuels, why is it important for SADC countries to be able to benchmark their qualifications?
The important thing is because our histories are so different, and our education and training systems are different, and the key thing is about how do we harmonize that? How do we harmonize, our qualifications, in the region, and how do we make it easier for when a person wants to move from one country to the other, that you must be able to clearly say, where does the qualification fit on the one hand. The second reason is that there's varying quality, across the region. And so what we are wanting to do also with the SADC qualifications framework is we've adopted a set of quality assurance mechanisms. So what this would do, it will build trust so that if a person goes to an institution in Namibia, and that person wants to go to another part in the SADC region and so on, yes, that we trust the qualification and we trust the quality of the qualification that comes from Namibia. Similarly with regard to other countries, that we set up a set of, these quality assurance mechanisms and guidelines, and if all the countries adhere to it, then we know there's a particular quality that all of us can trust. Indeed. And then the third aspect is that we are also saying that when people move from one country to the other country, that we must put in place mechanisms to verify the qualification, because that there are many bodies that is coming in from elsewhere the world, but also operating in our particular countries where they are not good institutions. I think the term that often been used is you have fake institutions, you have bogus institutions, yes, and they're also peddling fake qualifications. So the verification mechanism will then allow us to further trust that when a person comes and says, I have got this particular qualification, that, it can be truly the case that the person has got that qualification. Firstly, it is that countries must align their qualifications frameworks or their qualification systems to the SADC qualifications framework. Secondly, that we set up these quality assurance mechanisms that will allow us to trust the qualifications in the various countries. And thirdly, that we also set up measures for verification. And this will then make sure that these are authentic qualifications that we're talking about.
Indeed. Mr. Samuels, how will the SADC qualifications framework be implemented in the individual member countries to ensure that the individual country's education system is not compromised?
Well, look, I think the point here is that what we are all striving towards is better quality. So, in other words, the point that I've made is that the SADC qualifications framework is really a reference framework. So, in other words, where you have the education and training systems in the country, that what one would do, you would reference it against, this reference framework. So, what it can do, it will be able to enhance and improve, in some cases, what is happening in the countries. It will not compromise the quality at all.
Indeed. Mr. Samuels, 6 SADC member states have agreed to pilot the alignment process. Which countries are these, and how will the outcome of the pilot project be used in implementation?
Yeah, just roughly speaking, the countries include South Africa, it includes Namibia, it includes Swaziland, Lesotho, and so on. And then the idea is that once that alignment, the pilot countries have aligned their qualification frameworks or their qualification systems, what we will be able to say is that, look, these are the experiences that we have gained in the process, so that the other countries, the other 9 countries that make up the SADC countries can learn from the pilot, and, we can then speedily roll out, this alignment process to the other countries.